Welcome back to Partners Dog School. Our first week or so presented us with several challenges working Prada, since she's definitely a little more stubborn than I expected, and we've had to work on her engagement and confidence more and more as the weeks have progressed. But overall, she's been doing very well with her obedience training, and especially her muzzle training now that we've practiced it in several sessions. This next week is going to be very exciting as she continues to piece together how to be a successful dog when she heads back home.
I'm about to grab Prada out right now for our first time going into our second week. Definitely had a very successful first week with her. A lot that we accomplished. So I think so far, the game plan that I've put together for her is working. But going into our second week, definitely still have a lot that I want to address and work on with her. One big focus that I kind of want to address right now going into her second week is just simply kind of building up her personality. So, I think she's definitely at the point where she understands every command. She understands everything that I'm asking her for. So a lot of the time, I just think she struggles keeping her focus and engagement on me. So for some of her simple commands, such as sits and downs, there's several repetitions where she'll kind of blow me off. And then her being a big, tough dog, a lot of the times the training collar correction isn't enough for her, so I'm having to kind of resort to some more pressure on her body. So right now, again, she definitely really likes working for tennis balls. As you can see, the second I pull that out, definitely changes up her demeanor. So I don't necessarily want this more so being a bribe. Again, I kind of want her having this motivation and focus simply through our relationship, and again, her wanting to please and work for me. But, something as simple as that right there, again, she's capable and focused enough on this tennis ball. So she's going to respond to a hand gesture of a sit, but now I'm going to put this ball away to kind of just test something out. Prada, yes. Prada, sit. Hey, sit. So not as bad, but again, you can kind of see her checking out a little bit, really focusing on a lot of the other trainers. So that's kind of messing up some small details. But now I'm gonna walk her around for a second to kind of make her lose focus on what she was just focusing on, and then try another simple repetition of a sit. No. Prada, sit. Yes. Down. No. Good. So again, small details like that right there. Again, her fixation is stemmed towards another trainer. So when I'm offering her that command, she's definitely hearing me, but again, choosing to kind of blow me off. But again, once I bring out this tennis ball, again, you see full focus goes right back to me. Prada, hey, sit. Yes, down. Good. Prada, hey. Yes. Free. Get that ball. Get that ball. Good girl. Going into our second week, socialization is going to be a big thing we work on this week. So, I definitely want to be as safe as possible when, starting socialization with her. I don't really know what her true intentions are going to be, if it's going to go well or if it's going to go bad. But regardless, I want to make sure I have all the tools to make, it be set up for success. So, right now, I want to spend a day or two before I actually start the socialization with her doing a little bit of muzzle conditioning, just because, with the muzzle, for a dog that's never been on it before, just having that be a new tool, something that's going over their face, it can be a lot of pressure for the dogs. So if that's kind of the mindset that they're in, if I kind of take her now and then, put a lot of pressure on her, taking her into a daycare yard, all that's going to do is just put her in even more negative of a state. So, I want her to be, comfortable, happy, make sure that she has a positive association with the muzzle. So, when I'm first doing muzzle conditioning, I kind of like luring the dog into it. I don't want to just force the muzzle over her face and then put it on. So again, right now, you can tell she's a little confused with what I'm trying to do. And again, this is going to be a little bit more tricky for me because she's not as motivated for the treats. Yes. Good. Yes. So right now, again, trying to start Soch with Prada. You can see, you know, she's very unsure about having the muzzle on, but I at least want to right now just walk her around for a second, kind of, you know, get her a little bit more comfortable wearing the muzzle, just do a little bit of obedience. But again, you know, I don't want her being in that mindset right there where she's trying to kind of fight the muzzle as I am, you know, taking her into a daycare yard with a lot of off-leash dogs. Come on. Then walking in right here, you can obviously see all these daycare dogs are already waiting for her. So, you know, I don't want to rush her in. You know, I'm gonna kind of stay in this threshold for a second, really to see what her reaction is. So now is my chance. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And just keep moving. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, come on. I like that she is kind of more so choosing to freeze instead of fight. But I like that, again, you know, she's showing me more of a defensive side to her than that offensive side. Right now, just so much pressure on her. She doesn't really understand, you know, what to kind of do with herself. But I think the biggest thing right now is just simply kind of keeping her mind moving and keeping her body moving through all of this pressure to kind of come into this new yard, check things out on her own. That's exactly what I'm going to be happy with. You know, with a dog like this, I definitely wouldn't necessarily want to take the muzzle off that early on. But, you know, she's kind of showed me all the right decisions. So now that I have the muzzle off, you know, she's definitely loosened up a little bit. You know, she's more so willingly walking, you know, a little bit more curious when the other dogs are kind of trying to kind of greet her, but definitely still need to look out.
Throughout this whole kind of endeavor, her whole soch, and even her going up and saying hi, there was never just a large pop and no, because she's still learning socialization. She's still learning those cues, just like with the sits, downs, heel, anything like that. So I'm just giving her pressure. Yes, good girl. To teach her, like, hey, when this is coming this way, when there's too much and I don't want you in there, you're gonna start moving your way out. And with that out, just like that right there, then we can start shaping it with the command itself. So if she's starting to understand the pressure like that, which she already does, but in this type of situation, then the next time she goes in somewhere and she's being a little too much, or I want her to remove herself, I want her to start to make her own better decisions, but because I don't know what her decisions are gonna be in this type of environment and how much work she's done in here already, I'm not just gonna gamble and hope that she's just gonna make the right decision. So I'm gonna stay a little bit more on top of her and let her earn more freedom as she continues to make better choices. She has a good variety of different dogs to choose from who she wants to say hi to. Prada, come on. You know, usually on this third week, if the dog has, like, you know, reactivity issues, just depending on the dog, we might be still stuck on stuff like that or just finishing that. But now, because she doesn't really have any of those issues, she's just pretty mellow. She's done all of her obedience really well. Now we're just kind of branching off into extra different things to train and help with. So most of the session is going to be a lot of desensitization to different things, like me touching her ears, her nose, her mouth, her paws, you coming up to her with the camera, maybe me playing with toys, and then also definitely a little bit of desensitization to the Dremel. This is one that dogs can sometimes be pretty freaked out about. The noise, it is a little scary. A lot easier to use than nail clippers, and it's usually a lot safer too, but it does have that, you know, buzzing noise that can sometimes freak them out, especially if they've never experienced anything like it. I'm gonna start with just some normal basic touch desensitization. This is really good for, other than just wanting to check your dog over and make sure that they're okay. It's also really good for the vets, good for the groomers. If they go to the groomers fairly often, you wanna make sure that they're not gonna get really crazy and maybe somewhat reactive to someone touching their ears, touching their nose, their mouth, their teeth, because we wanna be able to check them over, especially when we need to. It's gonna make that vet visit a lot easier for us and a lot easier for the vet themselves. We're gonna work on it a little bit. I'm gonna go down just one small level. Yes, good girl.
Our last week or so presented us with several challenges working Prada, since she's definitely a little more stubborn than expected. and we've had to work on her engagement and confidence more and more as the weeks have progressed. But overall, she's been doing very well with her obedience training and especially her muzzle training now that we've practiced it in several sessions. The grooming and touch desensitization was also a big success this last few days, and it's going to be very exciting as she continues to piece together how to be a successful dog before she heads back home.
Learning for two, your dog and you, PartnersDogs.com.